Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers, I guess. I bought a Sinclair 128K ZX Spectrum Plus 2. This was an opportunity buy. A customer just walked into my shop and was like, I have this. I don't know what to do with it. I kind of want to sell it, but I can't do eBay and stuff. Are you interested in it? Do you know someone who's interested in it? I made them an offer. They accepted. It now belongs to me. So I got what I believe to be a very agreeable price to it. I told them I was lowballing them based on the eBay value. However, they were just happy to just walk away with cash in their pocket. So the condition of this thing is unknown. They say that when you turn it on, the red light comes on. However, they did not have a monitor cable for it. And likewise, I have no reason to believe that I was being deceived. However, because it's not been plugged into a monitor, I actually have no assurances that it even works. So this might be a fix, it might be a refurb, I don't know what this is going to be. The Commodore and the Spectrum and this era was just before my time. I got into computer games around like the Master System area, you know, the NES and the Master System was when I started playing games. And I've never actually used anything like this before, so I have no idea what to do with it, quite frankly. And that's part of the reason why I bought it, was because there's a huge gap in my knowledge for this era of computing. And I thought, sure, the worst is I can probably sell it and at least get back what I paid for it. So I've got the original manual for it. I've also got the original power supply for it. But the first person I've spoken to immediately said, don't use the original power supply. And I'm like, okay. I'm guessing it's to do with the fact that perhaps it doesn't have any input protection. If there's a problem with the internal power supply, I might blow it up or something like that. Anyway, what I thought we'd do in this video is I'm going to open it up, basically. I'm not going to do a full teardown. I'm just going to carefully open it up and just take a peek and just see what condition it's in. I might poke the oscilloscope probes into the TV, RF, and or the RGB output and just see if there's a picture signal there. I don't have the cables to hook it up to anything. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we can find out. You know, some of these connectors, like the TV connector and the audio connector, they look pretty crusty. So anyway, I've waffled on. Let's start working on this. So while I open it up, as I say, full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing with this thing. And that's why if you're watching this video and you know all about these things, I want to hear from you. Basically, we're going to have a look in this, and I want you guys to take a look. And like, if you spot stuff that I haven't seen, and if you spot stuff and you go, "Oh, that's got to be sorted," and that kind of thing, let me know what you guys think. If you spot a certain component and you're like, "Oh, it's got one of those, that's got to go. You've got to change that out, otherwise it'll melt down," you know. Or if you know of any really cool mods that we could do with this, or any just common refurb stuff, you know, that kind of dealio, then let me know and we'll do that and we'll go on a little journey together. And then once I'm done with it, I might play some games on it. But in all likelihood, I'll probably sell it on, to be honest. I'd love to give it away, but I paid enough money for it that I don't just want to give it away. So, right, I've taken out the screws on the bottom. I don't know whether the top comes off or the bottom comes off, so I'm going to use the same trick that I do with a laptop, and that is I'm just going to split the case and I'm just going to peep. Okay, so the tape deck is attached to the top with the keyboard, and the motherboard is on the bottom. So, oh, that was a screw. I'm going to grab that before I lose it. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up. Something's holding on in the back right. What's holding on in the back right? Oh, I think it just needs a little bit of jiggery pokery. There it goes. Something is hooked over. Yeah, big heatsink is sort of hooked behind that there. Okay. Right. So we've got some ribbons going up to the keyboard. I'm going to disconnect those. going to disconnect this here, and then I can let go of stuff. So let's just pull those ribbons out. These are low insertion force connectors. Wow, just carbon tracks on those. I don't have very much experience with vintage electronics like this. I mean, I know what it all is, but like I've never dealt with it firsthand. Okay, right, so there's the back of it. Was that a date code? What's that say? 60722. It says in very faded text. Not sure what that is. Don't understand the format of that date code. Maybe someone else can tell me. Okay, right, let's stick that to one side. Right, so here's our main motherboard, and I'm no expert with these things, as I've said several times already, but I've just looked up a brief layout of the board just so I can give you guys a very quick poor man's tour. So let's start up in the top right here. We've got a Zilog Z80 CPU here. We've got the ROM chip there, and this thing is compatible. It's got the old 48K, was it? Yeah, it's got the 48K Spectrum ROM on it, and then in the upper addresses, it's got the 128K stuff in it, which allows the system to be backwards compatible with the older games. So we've got ROM, CPU. This guy is a RAM multiplexer. So this chip is then handling all of the RAM chips down the bottom here. Then over here on this side, this is all AV up here, and this guy here is called the ULA chip, and this generates the picture, and it generally handles I/O. So it handles peripheral I/O such as the joysticks, which connect over here, and it handles the audio as well. And then everything else around here is more or less glue logic, and glue logic means it's basic transistor chips that just handle interfacing between the other chips. So that handles, inverting or signaling or sequencing, that kind of thing. So the other chips are, there's going to be a couple that do some stuff, but most of them don't do anything of note. They mainly just handle the interface between the major components. So that is my very brief cheat of it. So in terms of the condition, as I say, everything looks good. None of these capacitors look like they're bulging or anything, which doesn't mean they're not failing, but, there's nothing is blown up in here at the very least. However, as mentioned, I'm told that apparently, the power light comes on and everything, which is always a good sign. And yeah, that's about it, basically. Got this big old power regulator here for the internal power supply. That's just, yeah, it's just literally on a big old heatsink there before the days of fans. And then we've got a power port up there. And yeah, looking at the power input, I don't see any kind of fuse or input protection here. So I think that might be why I was told not to use the power supply, because if the power supply, for example, if the it's a big old linear transformer like the old days, so if some of the windings in that transformer have broken down and it's internally shorting, it might be putting out the wrong voltage. So it might suddenly pump like way over voltage into this thing and blow something up inside. So yeah, that'd be pretty bad. Well, at the very least, I think what we'll do is we'll put it back together and we'll power it on, and I'll see if I can find anything. In terms of the cassette deck, there's nothing enormously exciting to see there. It's all just very mechanical here. You can see we've just got the back end of a mechanical cassette deck. Then we've got the power light is up there as well. You can see the power light there, that LED. And then this board has probably got just the cassette controller on it. And again, we've got just like literally just wound wires on these posts there. That's pretty crazy. And that all goes back to just a single 5-pin connector there, which is fairly impressive. I wonder if that, well, I was about to say, I wonder if that does like serial control or anything like that, but honestly, I have no idea. Well then, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to see if it does anything. Whoop. All right. I'll put the screws back in it. I'm going to leave this put back together until I'm told otherwise now. There's nothing in there that looks particularly egregious. It may be that it all works and there's nothing to actually fix here. However, maybe someone else will find this interesting. But yeah, also it'd be kind of cool just to refurb this anyway and sell it as a refurbed product. So, you know, if there's stuff that I can do that will just improve it, even if it doesn't need it, then we'll do that. Nah, the keyboard's pretty crusty. There's some trapped stuff in there. Have I got a key puller? I might just screwdriver a key out and just see what happens. Yeah, there's a lot of schmutz under these keys. That might be fixed with a blast from the air compressor. Or it might need me to actually disassemble the keyboard. Ugh, yeah, that U is sticking as well. The keyboard needs a good thorough clean. That would certainly be something that I could refurbish. Although that's not very exciting. Right, what fits in there? A standard barrel jack will. Let's get my barrel jack cable. I'm going to plug in the original power supply and just measure its output and just see how it's pinned, just in case I'm being punked by a positive outer pin or something like that. That'd be pretty embarrassing. What? Okay, so yeah, it's a positive outer pin, but also it's putting out 12.5 volts. 12.5 volts. 9 volts at 2.1 amps. What the hecky with that? Okay, right, let's get that unplugged. Don't like that at all. No wonder I was told not to use that. Okay, right, so I've reverse pinned my power supply. Just tune you down, you're running a bit hot at 9.1. Okay, I've powered that in and we've got a red light. And it's pulling 1.92 amps. Let's see if the tape deck, you know, plays something. So, you know, we don't have it plugged into anything. Okay. The tape is revolving. Cool. God, it's been a while since I've used a cassette tape. Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, well, we can't really tell if it's powering up because I don't have a monitor cable to plug it into anything. But what I might try and do is just see if I can detect any output from its RF output. Because then at least I might be able to see if it's attempting to output a signal, which would be a good start. Well, I tried to probe the video output with my pocket scope just to see if I could find any kind of proof that it was actually working. And I didn't really get very far, but then I'm not 100% certain how to correctly probe those outputs either. I don't have anything that can pick up an analog RF signal from the TV output. And we don't have any connections for this RGB connector. But what I do have is, I mean, I've got an RGB harness for my game capture card, my HDMI capture card. So if I can go from there to a literal RGB signal, then I could just run this into my capture card and then monitor the output. So I don't know if that would work. So yeah, tell me what you guys think of this and what you think I should do next. Hopefully we can go on some kind of adventure with this. I promise nothing, but if you guys can tell me more about it, hopefully we can do stuff. Right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and hopefully we'll see this thing again very soon. Bye for now.